Kot veste, prihodnje leto Bio praznuje 50 let in ta pogovor ni namenjen le temu jubilejnemu Biu, ampak pogovoru o prihodnosti Bienala čez 10-15 let. Kaj naj bi Bienale bil? Bio naj bi bil najstarejši oblikovalski bienale v Evropi, najstarejši tovrstni dogodek v Evropi. Ustanovljen leta 1964, že ustanovitev sama po sebi je bila takrat nekaj zelo vizionarskega. 60. so bila seveda izjemno obdobje rasti, industrializacije, elektrifikacije in absolutno je bila potreba po takšnem dogodku takrat prav gotovo velika. Kot vemo, je Bio potem 50 let ostal takšen, kot je bil zasnovan, s podobno strukturo, z manjšimi spremembami, se je odvijal naprej. Medtem se je seveda v svetu veliko stvari spremenilo. Od tega, da danes v skoraj vsakem tako velikem mestu, kot je Ljubljana, poteka oblikovalski dogodek, do tega, da se je spremenil način proizvodnje, da se je spremenil način dela oblikovalcev, da se danes oblikovalci soočate z drugačnimi temami, kot ste se v 60-ih. In s tem smo kot organizatorji Bienala soočeni seveda tudi mi. In pred 2 letoma, kot veste, smo pričeli delati na spremembah v organizaciji Bienala v smeri, da razširimo razpravo o oblikovanju, da jo odpremo tudi za različna druga področja, za različna aktualna vprašanja, da jo naredimo relevantno, ne samo v mednarodnem prostoru, ampak tudi za lokalno dizajn sceno, za domače oblikovalsko dogajanje. Pred 4 leti, ko sem odpiral svoj prvi Bio v muzeju, 22. Bio, se je začela kriza. In takrat sem rekel, da pametni delajo napake, ampak se na njih tudi učijo. In kot veste, se je od takrat ta kriza samo še poglabljala in je danes še precej težje, kot je bilo takrat, in je pred 4 leti pravzaprav še nismo čisto resno čutili. In to Bienale kot dogodek ali pa kot inštitucijo prav gotovo postavlja še pred večjo odgovornost. Ne samo kako odpreti razstavo, kako jo razširiti, ampak pravzaprav kako poiskati prava vprašanja in prave teme, ki si jih mora oblikovanje zastaviti. To je postalo še toliko bolj pomembno. Danes vam pravzaprav predstavljamo tudi kustosa naslednjega Bienala, Jana Boelena. Za Jana Boelena smo se odločili, ker ima zelo večplastno izkušnjo z oblikovanjem, ker ima izkušnjo z oblikovanjem kot industrijski oblikovalec, ki je delal s pomembnimi velikimi podjetji, ker ima izkušnjo z oblikovanjem kot kustos, kot ustanovni direktor galerije Z33, kot kustos razstav, ki odpirajo zelo mejna, pomembna vprašanja v oblikovanju, kot kritik, kot pisec, kot nekdo, ki se ukvarja z vzgojo oblikovalcev, kot vodja masters programa na Eindhoven Academy of Design. In v tem trenutku besedo predajam Janu, v nadaljevanju pa upam, da se boste v čim večji meri vključili v pogovor v prihodnosti Bienala in da bo ta razprava plodna in prijetna. Hvala lepa.
Thank you, Mateusz. Dober večer sem skupaj. Rad bi se pravishil dokotek potekal v anglečini a obljubim, da se bom do konca bienala naučil govoriti slovensko. Okay, hello. This was, I hope, the difficult part of this evening. Welcome everybody, and I would like to share you some thoughts I have, thoughts that I experienced the last months. I'm in a kind of in-between moment, an in-between moment where I'm trying to formulate what a biennial could become and what the biennial bio was and where it could lead to. And I thought it would be smart to test it, maybe also to test the idea, to discuss it, because I think it's about collaborating, it's about sharing knowledge, and that's what I would like to do tonight. Like I heard my name, so I think Matthias already told something about myself. I don't know what he told. Probably he was right, but what I would like to say is I'm trained as a very traditional industrial designer. I worked like that for a couple of years in companies really producing products, industrial products, and afterwards I went into running a space which is called Z33. And where we make quite experimental exhibitions on art and design, where we comment what is going on in society through the medium and disciplines of design. We guide there also very young, talented designers and try to develop their work. And that's what we do in that gallery. And we try to develop a policy around design. Such it's not only presenting and making exhibitions, it's also trying to create a kind of context for what these discipline could mean for society and what they can achieve. Or that is at least our goal. So sometimes we are provocative, sometimes we make we present solutions, other times we are trying to make very poetical exhibitions, and but you can check that on our website. On the other hand, I'm also trying to set up, and I use explicitly the word trying to set up a master social design at Design Academy Eindhoven. And when I say trying, is that in fact social design should not exist. In fact, it's not important. It should be an integrated part of what design could be, and the social aspect is just like the technological or the economical or all the other parts of making a product or a service or a system should be an integrated part of it. But just to be clear to the outside world where we put some stress, we call it social design. And the last part, and that's something which is related to government. There I try to advise the Minister of Culture on art, design and architecture in a commission in the Flemish community. So that's more or less what I do. A couple of months ago in May, Mao invited me for a lecture And after the lecture, I found that context in Slovenia quite interesting, and I was asking what is going on here, and was intrigued how the scene was organized, and by these questions and the discussions that came out, finally there came a question: could you come in September and discuss how a certain biennial for design could develop? And you have to know that I was participating in quite a lot of biennials. I was also initiating Manifesta in Belgium, and I'm really, and not to be rude, sometimes fed up with biennials. They are sometimes, and most of the times, design biennials are quite boring. And if they are there, you should ask, we should ask ourselves, even if it doesn't matter what biennial is, why are we doing it? What is the need of it? Why should we still make a biennial of design? And for instance, if you will look around in autumn 2014, and they are all announcing the programs already for 2014. What is in London going on? London will again organize its month of design. In Paris, same. In Eindhoven, Dutch Design Week will be there, and so on. And in Kortrijk in Belgium, again, another design event is going on. So only if you just travel by a car or to Ljubljana, down from London or Copenhagen to here, you will meet at least 20 to 30 design events. And I'm not exaggerating. This is what is happening. And then we have to ask ourselves, how do we want to make then the difference if this is going on? If this is really what the world of design wants to share with the public, and how can we make the difference? So I want to raise that question because especially 1964, the moment of the first biennial, the oldest biennial of design that was founded here, started. And that moment, something was started. And what do we see now today? That the world is in fact full of design biennials, and that in 2014, Bio is just one of the many design biennials which are around. It's a special one. It's here. It's the oldest one. But if we say that and we embrace that, we also should be critical that if we want to make still a difference, we should also create some answers to the need of a biennial in Ljubljana, a biennial in Slovenia, and a biennial in this part of Europe, and how that communicates with the international scene of design, because we are part of a global world. So I was talking with several people, and at a certain moment there was a very nice talk I had with Sascha Mächtig, and he was saying what would happen if Slovenia could be seen as a laboratory for design. It's a city, in fact, of 2 million people in Europe. It's not, maybe not a country, it's a city which is there, and that city has an interesting scale. It has a scale of where that you, by phone, you can reach very fast all kind of know-how. And that know-how can be connected. And that know-how can be used as a source and material for developing new things, products, system, services. So what is going on here is, you could say, is maybe you could see Slovenia as a city in Europe, a city which can be an example for the rest of Europe and can function as a laboratory for design. So, but that was not the only thing that came up in the meetings. I also thought, I met different players, very young designers that are just starting up, that are now in New York and trying to get kickstarted. I met people that were the people of the academy, designers, older generation, younger generation, institutions, and so on. And I saw all these groups separately, almost functioning, and a very interesting scene, but also quite problematic from outside, I have to say. That's my point of view. You can disagree with me, of course, and you should disagree with me, or at least I hope you disagree with me. And I came up with a certain first sketch that I would like to develop on the way of the going of the biennial. You could say that there is a kind of culture here, and that is starting, and that's in every country like that. Most of the time, education and what is happening in the schools and the academies is the beginning. So that is the starting point. And I don't have a cursor. So that's what you see on the left side. How that design, architecture, fashion, graphic, web design, everything is there. And it's an interesting scene. But that's mainly orientated to design and design education, which it should do. On the other side, we have culture. And that's not, if I am drawing a line between it or a square around it or a rectangular, that is not a different world. It's in fact a fluent area, a kind of zone. And you have also there in the world of culture, you don't have always strong and big institutes, but the biennials play an important role. That's clear. And what kind of role could biennials play, or what maybe they should play, or at least that is my opinion? If they are funded mainly by the Minister of Culture, they should support the new, the experimental, the innovation, and communicate these stories, and should give them a platform. So in these biennials, content should be developed, and process should be stimulated, and productivity, new productions, new commissions are given in these biennials. It's a kind of soft incubator, you could say. On the other hand, around these biennials, you have all kind of interesting initiatives that are forming a certain biotope, ecology of players that are around. And if I already mentioned the Kickstarter, there is a private company is setting up a design office, an accelerator. You have somebody who is taking an initiative for a school or design management. There is a Fab Lab going on. So you see all kind of, let's say, facilitators where the products can be prepared really for a market. And then you go to the last phase, and that is where the product should be there and the concepts should be developed towards, and products I mean really wide. This goes from services and other, from an object, from a unique object to a product and a service to the marketplace where it will be sold. So this is a kind of chain which is not always a straight line, and probably things will pop from the one field to another field to another zone. And finally, you could come to a kind of integrated design policy, or that is at least what I can imagine, that finally all these elements, the human, societal, technological, economical parts would play together and would finally form a system for design and design development in Slovenia. And it's just to position again that biennial and that bio. You don't have to agree, but in this way I think through communicating you can get somewhere, and I heard some people on my trip and in discussions saying that they are aiming for the world capital of design. And to be honest, you won't make it. You won't make it in the way you are making it now. Sorry. I don't want to be rude and cruel, but you have to come up with a policy. You have to come up with a certain division of roles and give everything a direction and collaborate in that direction. That's the only thing I can say. You don't have to do it for me, do it for yourself. Sorry. So if this is bio, and this is the context where bio will be formulated, what can bio then be? And how can bio in 2014 be developed in a certain way that it is not only a party. I like parties, but the day after you have a hangover and a headache, and and you will ask yourself, what did I learn? Who did I meet? And what will we get out of it? What was in for me? So I really would like that something stays after this party, and I hope that Bio 2014 becomes a party. So if we know that, and maybe I reduce it, that in 1964, Bio was the local international design competition, and therefore a very interesting and a meaningful concept at that moment. I think in 2014 that should become the local international design collaboration. I really believe that if we set up collaborations, something can go forward. In all the talks I had, people were asking for links, connections, collaborations, and so on. So I think that instead of giving an award for a product which is already there for a year, 2 years, and that can be sent in, I would like to give an award to the best or the most interesting collaboration. So that is changing a perspective, that's changing maybe also an attitude. So to be clear about what I try to achieve, and a biennial should not be about the world of design and about only the designers. Of course, it's also a platform for the designers, but it should be about designing the world and maybe life. I didn't invent this. Was already what Bruce Moe said a couple of years ago. I only added one word, life, because I think it's really about shaping life and changing relations between people in order to get a better situation here in the world. So, what if we want to collaborate? We should take, and I think that is important, we should not put design itself in the middle and in the core, but maybe we should take everyday life. Everyday life as a starting point. What we need, what we feel, what is, that's more or less the starting point. And around that, we create collaborations around everyday life subjects. So like food, water, walking, affordable living. These are examples where I'm talking with certain groups and persons already on very specific small things and collaborations. So what I would like to do is, for instance, to put the cook in the middle of a group, in the middle of a collaboration. The cook as somebody who has a certain knowledge. Of course, a cook with a certain appreciation and knowledge of design, but I think today it's about the food that is on the plate and not about the plate anymore alone. The plate plays a role, but it's also about the food that is on the plate. That is one of our main concerns today. What is on the plate? And how is it processed? How is it getting there? How do we change it? How do we get it in our mouth? What do we experience? How will we digest it? And these kind of questions will be questioned by a cook in collaboration with designers, and finally will achieve to a project that will be presented in Bio and on the stage and be part of Bio. So that will happen with water, but also how that we walk, a very everyday life thing. We came up the stairs. We didn't count the stairs themselves. Sometimes you are annoyed by the sizes of the stairs, and then you are aware that the mistakes of the design are bothering you, and maybe sometimes they make things possible. You can walk in the city very functional from A to B. You can walk as a flaneur very poetically, but you can also protest in the city. And these walks can change everyday life. So these are these kind of elements that will be topics in Bio. Hacking households, nanotourism, hidden crafts, and I will explain them in the brief, or if you want now already a little bit more, because they are really under construction. For instance, I saw a lot of people trying to struggle to live and to achieve a living in a house or a certain circumstances. And what I want, or what I would like, is that architects, designers, together with engineers, with sociologists, with people that are dealing with healthcare, are trying to look how can we live in an affordable way. It's for young people very difficult, not only in Slovenia, but also in other countries, to get their own home and to get away from the house of their parents and to set up their first housing. And designers, companies, sociologists, psychologists, and so on can work together in teams to achieve a first prototype. And that means not probably already the final thing in the Bio, but a concept, an idea that can be executed later on and picked up by somebody that wants to invest in it. I would like that after the Bio, some of the projects are going further. So the Bio is really a launching platform, a platform where ideas and concepts can be developed, can be presented for the first time to a public as a big tryout, as a testing ground, and to create a possible future. A future, or at least an alternative of what is happening now. Hacking households. If one of the biggest issues in household is when you have to throw it away because you cannot repair it. It's made in such a way that you have to buy a new one, but maybe you can do 5 other things with it. And there is a whole scene of designers who is trying to develop in that field, in that area, all kind of solutions that could make the waste belt of household appliances or try to return or turn that waste belt. Nanotourism is about, it's a kind of, maybe I will explain it like that, but you can define it probably, and that will be done differently. Can we develop a kind of new physical Airbnb projects? Can we make parasites that can plug in somewhere and where we can stay and we can sleep for a couple of days or for a night? Can we create kind of microeconomies through very small interventions in architecture, in design, through design, in all kind of areas in Slovenia? What we will do is, and that's what we're trying to do, and the first contacts are there, is to do a research on tourism and effects of tourism and demography and so on, and finally to do a summer school in this field of 3 weeks in a certain village and try and test and develop and make with international and local students and people that are already working as an architect, as a designer, with the research that will be done in the spring next year. So in July 2014, this will be a summer school together with AA. Hidden crafts. Hidden crafts is, there are a lot of small companies with certain know-how, and I want to match them just like Design Reactor in Berlin is doing with designers. Through workshops, connecting designers with companies and developing new objects and products. A little bit like Vienna Design Week is also doing. The fashion system is coming out of a discussion of some designers here that are not really particular in the fashion itself, but created a certain platform that also could be used by other designers and that should be developed. And where that, I think the fact that people can create their own fashion and their own clothes is maybe a way to get out of the traditional fashion system itself. Block motors is a suggestion of an interesting company which is here, Tomos, and where that we will try to create a kind of Meccano Lego block motors, and all kind of vehicles will be developed around that block. And I'm just now suggesting and trying to prepare these teams, but on the other hand, I will also suggest an open category. That means that I think these are interesting topics that are going around and living here somewhere, and that want to pick up. But maybe there are also collaborations possible that are here in the public and could become part of the bio. So in the bio, I want to go beyond the product. In bio 24 or the 24th edition of bio, I think the process will be stressed, the experiment will be stressed, the tryout will be part of it. It will be a place as a testing ground and for possible futures. And you can compare it with a car company who is presenting at a fair his concept car in order to get feedback from the public, in order that the marketing can know where a product should go to and which the next products they should develop. That means that it is not only about the product, but it's about how things come together, how that a company, a designer, an engineer, all kind of different people work together and create something new. So it's really about possible futures, and that at the moment that the bio is 50 years. That also means that I want to present the past and the future together, maybe in the same exhibition We are still developing that as a kind of contrast, as a kind of answer and question maybe, or a question and an answer. They will react and act to each other, and at least maybe we go with some projects back to the future or are looking forward to the future. So I want to call Bio24 not Bio24, I would like to call it Bio50. It's not only Bio50 next year, but it's also Aluo 30, and these are nice word games. I would like I said, go for awards for collaboration, and I hope that Bio50 becomes a testing ground, and where that activity 3-2-1 test will be a kind of attitude rather than a passive one that is just looking to what happened in the past but is looking forward to a possible future. So that's what I want. I want to connect design with everyday life, and I hope that it will inspire not only designers and designers, but also people with a certain fascination, people with a certain expertise, and by that a larger public that is coming to these kind of exhibitions. Voilà. Thank you very much. This is it for me, and I raise questions, please, and voilà.
Sorry, about these workshops you were talking about, is this going to be among students and people from abroad, or local people?
Very good question. What I want is that we launch in a couple of weeks an open call where the briefs of the teams are very clear. A core team and of specialists, for instance, the cook, is already defined, and that designers from abroad and here from Slovenia can apply to. That in some other teams, designers from Slovenia and designers from here are already in the core and in the middle of a team, and designers from here, and I hope also from abroad, can apply. What is important in what I think is important when designers apply is a motivation, or not only when designers apply, is why would you be part of that group? Why would you want to collaborate, and how would you want to collaborate? That are for me the two main questions I have, and where I hope that we can form interesting groups of people that really love a certain subject and that will go for it, and that will start working and start Skyping with each other, and that networks of people are coming out and are built and constructed that go over bio. So that it's not just bio as a platform, which is a nice goal, and that's a good one, but that collaborations are going just further, and that these collaborations and networks become sustainable on longer term. So that's what I hope, and so it's a catalysator, in fact, of all kind of possible connections you can make. Yeah. Maybe it's good that I give a certain insight and timeline, or the timeline that we have is that, like, we want to, and it's rough, what I say now, we want to go in a couple of weeks into the open call. Before the end of the year, we want to close the open call. And in January, we want to launch or to have a kickoff workshop that is where the topic is really a collaboration, and to create with all the groups, but also the people that are not participating, a kind of symposium where collaboration and collaborative processes are really central. So to create a certain common ground, to create a certain common vocabulary in these groups, so that they, from that platform on, from that moment on, they can create their own pace. Some groups will, like I said, will come together mainly in the summer and work at that moment. Other groups will every month come together and work in a very regular base. Some groups maybe even won't meet that much and will mail with each other. So even in the groups, the projects will be completely other, have other speeds and paces itself.
You said that you want for some projects to go further from the bio. So I'm interested. Will you be trying to include some companies, some producers in those teams? Or
yeah, of course. Yeah, like if I'm speaking about block motors, if I'm saying that, we will use a very specific motor of engine, in fact, of Tomos, and that will be used as the starting point for a design team and several design teams. So they will get all the material, they will get some parts and advice from the engineering team, and just like I gave the example of the concept car, it's the idea that some concepts are developed there together with the research and development department of the company in order to come to a new product. It will be not going further in that period than a concept, but at least that's the intention, and maybe some of the projects will go on later on.
Hi. I was just thinking, because I think bio as a place is really far from where I go, where my friends go, and yeah, it's far. And
how do you mean? Because for me, that's what is far.
The museum.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess I wish for more interaction, physical, with this place. So just now, we all working the Kreativna Zona Šiška, and I guess if bio, because I'm not sure if I understand how you will bring all these people together. I mean, yeah, in a way, I don't know, interaction.
I won't bring them; they will bring themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah? And but to be very close to your question or about places, we are really there. We are only talking with at this moment with the city gallery. Also, that also becomes a place of presentation of the exhibition, but I can imagine that certain parts of the topics need another space, another context to be presented. If you do something around walking, then maybe you can present the principle or the design principle in the city, in a gallery space or in a movie, but in fact, maybe the city is your exhibition space. So that means that the content will also define a lot the places where the exhibition will go on.
It's not okay. But yeah, okay. But I still think that physically people should go to bio, and because here in Kino Šiška they have a co-working place that I was just thinking what will make me go to bio more often or co-work there, or just I think bio needs more interaction with real designers, or and maybe something like free Monday lunch or something.
Oh, that's an interesting. I think if you could organize a restaurant day during the bio, something like that. I think these are interesting proposals.
Sorry.
Pardon?
She just said I'm talking about Mao, not bio, because of course, sorry, because of course it's good that it's there in this bio time, but I'm thinking about from here to there. Then.
Okay, that's far. Yeah. I have to be honest that I cannot judge that completely. But what I cannot see. I think activities like you are proposing are a part of the solution. A part of the if we're talking about fashion and making fashion together with a lot of people that start where that fashion designers developed certain patterns and where that the patterns are cut and finally you can bring them together and make your own clothes. I can imagine that certain workshop moments in the exhibition even and in during the bio, maybe at Mao, will happen. But I want to do that and define that out of the content of the different projects. I hope that is more or less.
Yeah, it's. Okay,
but maybe I know what you want. You want a bio in co-working space. No?
No.
New York. Yes. Agree.
No, it's fine. I just. It's okay.
No, was it not somebody else there?
Okay, as there is a lot about social responsibility in the topics that you mentioned, I was wondering in what way will you make sure that the outcomes will also be socially affordable, because we have all these social problems, crises and things like that, and we know that the world of design is a pretty poshy and closed space, quite distant from the reality. So I was thinking if you already considered some solutions and ways to reach this.
I think first of all the topics are the main thing. Yeah, they should relate to everyday life. If it is about, I saw, and maybe that's interesting. I don't have it with me here. But I have some copies of the categories of the former bios, and they are really orientated to products, so about consuming. Yeah, I'm not against consuming, but consuming in the right perspective and with the right goals and objectives. Yeah, so due to the fact that we are choosing topics that I hope that are more meaningful. I hope I can change a bit a certain way of looking to what is going on in the world. That is what I hope. More, I cannot promise that. I can guide that process. I think that is also my motivation to do that. That's also why I want to come every month approximately 1 week here to really work together and to coach and steer and motivate and disagree and fight and to have conflicts and to throw everything away and say that they have to start again, because it's making no sense to make again the same products that are already made and so on. So really to push the borders and the limits of what is done in that laboratory of design for Slovenia. That's what I hope that we can do. Yeah.
Hello. I have maybe two questions. One is I'm interested how you will form these teams which should work together. If I understood right, this should be somehow launched already by the open call. So probably you give some rules, I don't know. And then also you said that teams are the most important. I think these teams which you propose to connect bio and design more closely to everyday life, somehow I think it's very important to do this gesture also in this cultural space here. But on the other side, I think even more important is how these teams and then these collaborations will be processed and structured. Yeah. And so how actually this process, which you emphasize very much, will be framed and structured. And in this sense, I think one of the crucial questions is production conditions. Production conditions. Yeah. So also I'm interested, this is very important also I guess in the field of design today, all the shifts which are going on in the production conditions, and also how bio in this level is thinking about its own role in the regard of production. So will you offer production also possibilities? Yeah.
First of all, I try to split your question in two parts. I think the first really has to do how do you think about the group and the process, and the second is the production. If I'm correct, yeah. So the first is about the groups itself. I think, and some people, and there I think Slovenia was really very advanced already in the 60s and the 70s, and to start talking about integrated design. And that means that an interdisciplinary team of different people of different backgrounds are working together and creating a new product or a new system, a new service. And I think that is for me, so that it means that the criteria for a group is the motivation and how somebody can participate, with what kind of means, of course, but also the different backgrounds of a group. If already now in the group of the motor, the engine blocks, the motor blocks, we have the R&D and the engineering is there. So maybe we need something else to come to an interesting product and maybe object. So that is, for instance, one way of looking to the assembly of the group. Yeah. So that will. So the motivation, how somebody can participate, and finally, what kind of people will we bring together? What kind of mix is magic and will create a certain unexpected result, hopefully. So that's taking risks also. I think bio should also be taking risks. It is a ground for experiment. Yeah. The other thing, the other question is about production itself. I think every group will define, and that's maybe also interesting to know, is that I'm trying to set up in every group a certain seed money to organize the production of prototypes, costs, and so on that are made, and that will finally lead to something that can be presented in the bio. So it's my intention that they can work with a certain starting budget, and maybe through the connections they also make with other organizations, something new can come out. So that's really what I hope. So that it's a start ground, a testing ground, and with some seed money, and so that production can be made. Yeah. I hope that's more or less an answer to your question. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe I didn't understand right, but you want to present in bio only the results of these workshops, or?
Yes. Only, yeah. But that's quite a lot, I think. I hope. It's not only that, but I will give you an example. If we are talking nowadays about food, we are talking a lot about how that food is getting on that plate. Yeah? And we are looking in old techniques. We are looking to what even our grandmother and grandfather did, and how it's grown and how it's made, how it's conserved, and so on. So I find that very interesting to combine that in an exhibition, where then on the other side, food in 1964 and in the 60s was seen as an industrial product, and where food was the beginning of industrialization of everything that had to do with food was presented as progress in the bio. That was progress at that time. So that means that in the 60s and the 70s, that way of looking to the packaging of food, the cans, everything that had to deal with food itself became an industrial product, which is an interesting development at that time. But now, at this moment, you see that a lot of people are questioning that way of looking to food. Will we go on industrialize our food? Are the limits not reached there? Will we go to produce our food in another way? How will we bring that food then to the consumer? Or will we all become producers of food? So these questions are now there. How will the food then get on our plate? And how maybe new products again will come out of this way of thinking. That means that if I say we go maybe back to the future, that we go to the 50s, that we go to the 30s, when our grandmothers and grandfathers were growing their vegetables and making certain products and putting it on the table to consume. So there, the bio will not only represent possible futures, but also what happened in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 10s. So it's a kind of double exhibition where that you see that we will act and react with the past, and where I hope a new dialogue will come out. That sometimes we forgot things. There are the most great products are made in Slovenia. It's incredibly what I discovered. But the rest of Europe, and then I mean from my perspective, Western Europe is not knowing it. So also trying to get these products in the design history of the rest of the world, that's also something I would like to achieve. Because there are really great products from kiosk to a microphone from Marco Turk, and I don't dare to mention now names because people will be offended because I forget them. But that's also something that will be seen in that exhibition. So you get product versus process. You get future against a possible future, I have to say, always in condition, in dialogue with a past.
And how will you choose these people who will participate in these workshops? I mean, and how many, and I mean, what?
The open call will be launched in a couple of weeks. I hope that in one way or another you are, that means that you are in a mailing list or you got an invitation. I don't know how that is exactly going. There we will ask why would you like to participate in a certain group. and how will you participate in a certain group. And from that moment on, we start looking how can we make an interesting group. Maybe we will have talks with certain people, how if they say how they will participate, if that will be possible or not, I don't know. So to construct that group really, because that is a crucial thing. Yeah.
And you will be looking for ideas already in this open call, or just
No.
enthusiastic people?
I think energy is the first thing. If there are ideas, great. But it's not that I ask or that we expect proposals. That's not necessary. It's not necessary that, but a certain motivation and saying, oh yeah, I want. If I see that somebody is want to participate in all the groups, I think that's not possible. But you should really pick out something and say, or two things. Here, I would like to participate because of this and that reason. I have this experience, or I would like to meet that person. I'm interested in this technology. I don't know anything about it now, but this is the reason I want to study and to go deeper in it. I don't expect even experience in a certain topic, but a certain enthusiasm, a certain engagement is more important to come up with a. Most of the time, and some other, the older generation can probably say that, or that was one of the things my teachers learned me: 1% inspiration, 99% transpiration. Working, working, working. So you need energy to get there, and that's what I want to see in a group too. Yeah.
Sorry, just one more thing. And how will you get this, maybe people from other fields that you're suggesting? So how will you find these other people from...
On all kind of different ways. We are talking, for instance, with the university who is dealing with mechanical engineering. There are alumni. There are people, laboratories with certain knowledge, and they also have their channels. So how do we go beyond the design field and architecture field? That's what we try. There we also try to push the borders. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm rephrasing the question of before, because like my question actually was, how will you design the interaction between these groups of people?
First, the first and the main thing is to set up a group with interesting, motivated people. Yeah. That's the basis. The second thing is that if you want to collaborate, you have to speak the same language. That means, at least, if we want to have an international group, that we choose a language. And that's not only on Slovenian or English, but also that we try to create a certain language about what are different phases in a project. When do we do what? How do we analyze certain things, and to develop in that group a certain vocabulary. So every group will have its own methodology to come and planning to come to finally something that will be presented in the bio. Yep.
I would just like to comment. I have a feeling that there is maybe some misunderstanding or about the workshop, as Nusha asked, and maybe Jan, you can correct me, these workshops, as we know workshops from the faculty, will not be some kind of paper workshop, but that would also involve serious companies, or you mentioned Tomos and other companies in Slovenia, production facilities, which for example are closing down, but still there are some parts of the companies that are working, and through these workshops, I think BIO will try to offer them new solutions for the future. Am I correct?
Yes, I understood that, and I studied at the Academy of Design here in Ljubljana, and we had many this kind of projects, and of course they're great, but what I thought was always missing is some kind of epilogue, something, nothing ever happened, you know, because I thought maybe certain knowledge was missing, or certain people. For example, I think the biggest problem in Slovenia is that these companies don't know how to sell these products. And also, because I was asking this question, how do you find these other people? Because I think also in our experience, for example, we are organizing pop-up home, which you saw. We really want to find these people from these fields, like for example, marketing, economy, and it's really hard to find people who know this field and who are willing to maybe learn about this field and to, you know, help in this subject.
But so. I discovered also the companies that we are talking with now at this moment, that they want to share also some knowledge. Not all of them. Some are also saying we don't have time. It's clear. We don't have to discuss longer with them. But other ones are also very open and are saying, how can we share knowledge? So there we also will bring in really the company as part of the group. So if a company is saying we have a research and development department, or we are talking with the marketing director, and I almost don't dare to say, but that was very interesting for Pop-Up Dome, and the company is really relating to that, then I think their opportunities are for you to take that with your both hands and to grab that person and to start making connections with that person. So it's also we will mix the groups so that the different knowledges are around and that you go really into I don't know if in all the groups we go into a business plan or completely there, but at least we are talking, for instance, with certain services that want to bring further the projects to another level, maybe after bio, if there is a potential. It also depends on the quality of it. It's not making sense it's important to calculate already from the beginning, but it's more important that at the end it's still a good thing and that you can bring it further. And that there is that platform will also raise some attention to get a new circle of people around the project to bring it to the market, as I pointed out that everybody should play its role. First the content and then we sell it. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Barbara Prijan. I'm from Academy of Fine Arts and Design as well. And I would like to comment on yours and also on yours, because we have quite a lot of projects which comes to the end of production. So it's not like we are inventing something new. I would like to just stress, not only last year, we have a brilliant project with regional development agency. And it was, one project was together with different wood companies and many projects. Here we have a lot of students who has their end products which are now in production, and you can buy them if you want to. And there was another project which we did on service and information design, Right now, you can download the application, you can use it, so it's, let's say, it's not really that we are inventing or trying to sell something new here. We have a lot of collaborations, not only among designers, but we are collaborating from the market people, from the, let's say, even from the cook, let's say, with people that have experience, let's say, with dementia, working with people with dementia, with people that, I don't know, work in sustainable transport and so on. So these kind of collaborations already exist, we are doing it, and we are making end projects which you can all use. And I think Aiden can hear, he's from the regional office. And this was just a comment that in the academy level we are just, I don't know, inventing and making nice stuff in our head. The comment that I would like to maybe develop further is when she asked that, are you going to show only the projects which will be a part of the collaboration that will start, let's say, from tomorrow on and then develop till October 2014? Maybe, and this is just a suggestion, it's not a question, it's, you can dismiss it. Maybe it would be interesting also to show these kind of collaborations that are already going on. Because in the same kind of a context, here we have, I don't know, from Gorenje and so on, they have many different fields and collaborating, and they have different kind of not only end projects, but they have a lot of service design or maybe different evolving from the process and so on. So we could show this, that we know already this quite a lot. It's brilliant that we can make a kind of a laboratory to show something more, something new, to develop it later on. But I think that a lot of these kind of projects are going here. They're going here in Šiška with co-working. We have a lot of different other projects which might have a place, I don't know how, but might have a place in this kind of exhibition. So a kind of a laboratory which is the end result of the collaboration. And when you were showing your drawing up there, maybe the first thing that came up, I would need maybe a bit more to just to think about, but the first thing that when you were showing academy, like education, then you said the culture, which was, let's say, bio and other things, and then you had the different facilitating, I don't know, laboratories and product. But where are the professional designers? We have a really vivid community here. They're doing great projects, collaborating with everyone, and so on. So maybe we can find a place for them. Or I'm sorry if I missed it in your presentation.
Sorry, I didn't.
Okay.
The designers, the design association was, for instance, in between. It's just there was so many things on the presentation. But I would like to say is that if there are already interesting projects going on, there is the open category. Feel welcome to send in your project. I think, and there maybe. I don't think you have to defend the school or Aluo or any other school. I think the school is there not always to present something that goes to the end. I hope that the school is also a time where you can do stuff just, and that is also great. So, yeah. Not make. I don't go back, but voila. How? Somebody else? Oh, last one, last but not least.
Yuri Dobrila, you said many things about cooperation, collaboration, doing things together. And you also mentioned that Slovenian design is not really quite known in the, I say, Western Europe. You live there. So is there any idea of cooperation in that field, of introducing our design in your country maybe? Thank you.
That's a very interesting question at this moment, and I think it will be around half November. I'm trying to help young Slovenian designers to launch their Kickstart their products in Brussels. So I hope through this bio I will also connect and tap in to the Slovenian design scene and to give it also a platform somewhere there. And I hope that I can bring the projects from here. I cannot promise that. I can connect you. But I also hope to bring that to other countries. Yeah, that's what I hope. Yeah.
Thank you, Jan. One more question.
It's maybe not just a question, but first of all, I would like to say that this is first time in history of bio, in 50 years history of bio, that happened the open discussion about the future bio, about conceptions. And we should not lose the topics and the topic question, which was possible future. Maybe we went too much to the particles. Maybe we were too much pragmatic, or you put and open too many pragmatic or practical question how to participate in year to come. Maybe we should go also back to conception. You were talking about launching platform, which is a very good point of departure as designing for life or designing life, and contribution of design is something we should think about, and how to connect design profession to other fields and other economic and cultural and social activities, because design at the moment may be lost the role, which is not is necessary to be aware, and how to improve our situation and connect all interests in one big package or network, better to say. So I think that bio can be strategic topic or strategic activity with the help of all other fields, like profession, which is represented by professionals, and society on one side, and the education area on the other side. So it's a question of connection, all these points together in one big strategic project, and also which would be supported by small projects like the ladies pointed out. Thank you.
Thank you. I cannot add anything because it's a nice summary of this evening. Thank you.
Pogovor seveda nadaljujemo še ob kozarcu vina, tako da ne kar pobegniti, in s tem pravzaprav začenjamo serijo aktivnosti, ki se bodo dogajale ob 50. obletnici Bienala in bodo tudi del teh procesov, o katerih je Jan zdajle govoril. Upam, da se bodo ta sodelovanja še okrepila. Veste, smo julija letos skupaj, ALWO, MAO in društvo oblikovalcev oblikovali pripombe na nacionalni program o kulturi in zahtevali, da se oblikovanje umesti v program kot pomembno samostojno poglavje in upamo, da bo tudi skozi ta sodelovanja, skozi to leto mogoče nek byproduct recimo teh sodelovanj tudi v končni fazi to, da bo to poglavje umeščeno kot strateška tema za vlado, za Slovenijo. Hvala lepa za sodelovanje v pogovoru in v razpravi in gremo se podružiti naprej.